Hey everyone, Johnny Skywatcher here. So let's talk about Batwoman Season 2. So yesterday, Sunday, Batwoman Season 2 premiered with the new Batwoman. If you didn't know, they already aired a Season 1 of Batwoman on the CW starring Ruby Rose, and she quit. so we have a new season, a new Batwoman that is not based off a comic book character or anything. They just, I don't know, they picked some random names out of a hat, and because the Kate Kane character is a lesbian, she also needs to be a lesbian, and cast a woman of color because it's not enough to just have a lesbian. You got to be more progressive, right? I honestly don't have that big of a problem with the idea of doing that. I mean, it is kind of dumb. It seems kind of dumb the way they went about it. Like, there doesn't really just seem to be a story reason or any particular strong reason behind that other than, there's so many white superheroes, let's cast someone of color. I'm not entirely against that, but I don't think it really adds anything either. They cast this new Batwoman. Who is the new Batwoman? Javicia. I'm not sure how to pronounce her first name. Javicia Leslie. Okay, actually, before I talk about my reaction to the episode, let me just say I didn't watch Batwoman Season 1. I did watch part of the first episode. It was pretty bad, and I didn't continue it. And the one reason I wanted to make a video about this is because of the fact I didn't see Season 1. So a lot of times, people seem to think with shows you can't jump into the middle, and that you're losing a lot by not seeing everything else. And to a certain extent, that's true, but I always find it interesting to get that kind of perspective on what if you haven't seen the other episodes. Does it still make sense? Does it have the same impact, or does it ring differently? One big example that happened to me is with the Joss Whedon's Firefly series and the movie Serenity. That was the sort of the sequel to it and the ending to it, because they didn't get a proper ending at all. I saw the movie Serenity first and then watched the series, so I could still understand the movie. You don't actually have to watch the series first. You do get a better understanding in that case, and actually a completely different understanding from not watching the series first. So I kind of was interested to see how much I understood of what's going on, and how much would just not make sense at all. And I have to say, a lot of stuff didn't make sense, but I don't think it had anything to do with not watching Season 1. I did actually keep up with the news of what was happening. So even though I didn't see it, I still knew that going in, that I knew the plot of the guy. I guess he's supposed to be Hush, Tommy, who has taken on the face of Bruce Wayne at the end of Season 1. And obviously from the news, I knew that Kate Kane was not going to be present at all. Like, not even a tiny bit, not a single scene. And I knew that there would be a new Batwoman. So the episode, it basically, the way it happened, that the new Batwoman becomes Batwoman, is the same way as have you seen? Do you remember Tim Allen in The Santa Claus? It's pretty much that. So basically, what is her name? Ryan Wilder? Yeah, Ryan Wilder, I think is her name. And she's in her van down by the river. And basically, part of a plane crashes right near her. She runs out. There's this guy that she tries to save a little bit before, like she's performing CPR on him, I guess, and it looks really bad. I'm no medical expert, but it did not look at all like what I think CPR is supposed to look like. I think she was going like way too fast for one thing. I mean, I think it's supposed to be to the beat of you can do it through staying alive. The other one is another one hits the dust though. And she was going like bam, 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 bam. And it just looked bad. Anyway, I can't even remember if she saved the guy. I think she did. Like the guy is alive. She's having flashbacks at the same time, and then she gets up and she throws up. And then she just happens to see this Batwoman suit, or she walks over, I don't even remember, and there it is. And that's how she finds the Batwoman suit. It just kind of falls out of the sky. And the reason I bring up the Santa Claus is like, so the immediate thought is, I really think that's how they should explain Kate Kane's disappearance, is that she died, and like the Tim Allen in the Santa Claus, she magically disappeared, and then the curse of the Batwoman suit goes on to the next person. I think that should be canon, really. And then actually in the episode, it goes on to make it seem like the suit really is as important as that, and not just a suit that was made from Batman's suit. As in, you should be able to make another one. But that's like later on in the episode. So the main thing that happens in the episode is fake Bruce Wayne shows up. He was at the end of season 1, and they just had him appear because I guess the villain Alice had a plastic surgery done on him so that he would look like Bruce Wayne. So he shows up, and he's pretending to be Bruce Wayne. And he wants the Batwoman suit. What? I haven't seen anyone. Okay, like my immediate thought, because they one of the things they do in the episode to try to explain why Kate Kane is gone is that she had to go to National City to ask Supergirl if she could destroy the piece of kryptonite she has, and this, I do remember, was part of what happened in the Crisis on Infinite Earths. I think she got a piece of kryptonite, and then she was keeping it secret from Supergirl. But then Supergirl agreed to let her keep the kryptonite in case, she might ever need it, in case Supergirl or Superman went rogue and, tried to kill everyone. And then I guess they decided that the way to get rid of Kate Kane in this series, because rather than recast her, which I think was a really stupid idea, was to put her on her airplane. Why was she on the plane? She went to talk to Supergirl. And she went to talk to Supergirl because she wanted to ask her if she could destroy the kryptonite, which she had already decided to keep with Supergirl's blessing. And this is important in the episode because, as I can't remember if it was Lucas or fake Bruce Wayne that stated it, kryptonite is the only thing that can pierce Batwoman's suit. Okay, so in this version, obviously it's bulletproof, but like, that's just stupid. I mean, why kryptonite? Why? So you're saying you're making kryptonite Batwoman's kryptonite? Literally. Okay, what? Why? And just, I mean, okay, they don't even bring up the aspect of like, he needs kryptonite to defeat Batwoman or anything like that. Batwoman and Batman, they both aren't covered in completely by the suit. They got this big area right here, like where their mouth is conveniently suit free, as well as their eyes. So I'm pretty sure you don't need a magic bullet to kill Batman or Batwoman, even if the suit is bulletproof. Because I'm pretty sure if you hit him in the eye, that bulletproof suit that can only be pierced by kryptonite isn't going to matter at all. But ignoring that for a moment. Basically, she finds the suit, and then she decides to put on the suit, and she goes, beats up some bad guys, because why not? I guess she's got aggression, and they do some very short flashbacks. Like during the her finding the suit sequence, there's a short flashback where you see her moving into a new apartment with her mom, and then later you find out that her mom was murdered, and and something that I found just silly at the moment is so there's a scene where she and her mom are going with the landlord to move into their new apartment. He's got the keys and everything. He's showing them the apartment, and what you find out later is the way her mom died was apparently when they went there to move in to see the apartment for the first time. I guess there were homeless people living there. And they were part of Alice's gang, I guess, and they attacked and killed the landlord and her mother. I'm going to assume that when the landlord wasn't aware that they were there when they were going to move in, it seems kind of weird that they just showed up. Well, they said they were squatters. They were squatters. Yeah, that's it. And so to me, if they're squatters, they had to have been there for at least a little bit, and the landlord just didn't know about them, I guess. Seems a little weird, and that it seems a little weird that he would be basically letting them move in if he didn't know they didn't know what the apartment looked like, I guess. And nobody had taken a look at it. Okay, the problem is they specifically said squatters, which to me means they had to have been there for at least a little bit. Not just that Alice and her gang had, robbed a bank and were just broke into this place to hide out or something like that. No, they said squatters. So to me, I'm just imagining there's a bunch of squatters, and they've been living there for weeks, and the landlord has just not bothered to check because, well, I let's assume that landlords, as bad as they are everywhere else, they're even worse in Gotham, and they'll rent out places even though people have broken windows and broken in. They're just I'm not gonna fix it. I got a new tenant. Yeah, I'll just open up the door for you, and you can move in, and yeah, you clean up. I'm not gonna do that. Fake Bruce Wayne talks to Lucas, and Lucas is Lucius Fox's son, and he's basically Batwoman's guy in the chair, as that one character in Spider-Man Homecoming would say. And he shows him the Batcave because he just thinks it's Bruce Wayne. He's completely fooled. He shows him everything, and then when fake Bruce Wayne goes back there, he wants to find the Bat car, the Batmobile, which for some reason is hidden, even though it's already in the Batcave. So he takes up this plasma gun thing where it shoots like a goo thing, which then explodes. He has to blow up a wall to find the Batmobile, which I don't know how he would know it would be behind that wall, but I guess that's they showed it was a Chekhov's gun thing. They showed the gun, they showed him handle it, so they had to do something with it, but they didn't have anything interesting for him to do, so they just had him blow up a wall, which you'd think there had to be some way to get in there if that's where the Batmobile was. Maybe it wasn't obvious out in the open, but why would it be hidden in the Batcave? It's not. Did Bruce Wayne decide that when he was going to abandon Gotham for whatever reason he did so, he needed to wall up the Batmobile inside the Batcave in case anybody just stumbled upon the Batcave? That we don't want. Don't worry about all these other weapons and stuff, but that Batmobile, we gotta wall that up. It makes no sense at all. And And so there's two people. So there's Lucas Fox. Yeah, he's Luke Fox instead of Lucius Fox. Lucius Fox is his father. And then there's this Asian girl who I think is this Mary Hamilton, now that I'm looking at it. And I don't know who her character is at all. I know I'm pretty sure she's original to Batwoman. And maybe she's Kate's stepsister or something. I vaguely remember reading something about that. Like she had a stepmother, I think, at some point, who I think is dead now. It's so hard to keep track. Anyway, she's also hanging around with Luke Fox for some reason. So Luke and Mary are the, people behind the computer in this show, and they're trying to find Batwoman. And at the beginning of the episode, they're like, he's looking up the information. He finds out the flight information, and that's how he figures out that, oh wait, the plane that went down was the one that Kate Kane was on. And then they later in the episode, they use GPS to track down the suit, and they when they see her from behind, they say, "Oh, Kate," and she turns around. Ryan turns around, and they're like, "Oh, you're not Kate." And then this is really stupid. I know it's really stupid because later on in the episode, when fake Bruce Wayne gets the Batmobile and he's coming after Ryan because he knows, I don't even remember. I think he's able to track the suit with the GPS. Maybe I don't know if it even says, but that must be it. He must have tracked the suit with GPS. And anyway, they contact Ryan through the suit, through like some sort of communicator. They tracked down. They were worried about Kate Kane. They didn't know where she was. And so they tracked down the suit with GPS because they did think that was going to be Kate Kane. When they saw her, they assumed it was Kate. But they had the ability to communicate with the suit the entire time, as they demonstrate later. But they don't even try that. I mean, like, what? What? It's just puzzling because they could have communicated with the suit the entire time. It makes no sense why they didn't. I don't think, I wasn't watching, laser-eyed focus on the show the entire time to see if I might have missed some line of dialogue, but I don't think they say anything that could explain it. And it just makes no sense at all. And so Bruce Wayne, when he gets the Batmobile, the thing he's most interested in, the fake Bruce Wayne, I should say, the thing he's going after, that he must have, that he's taken a kryptonite bullet for, is the Batsuit. So, for one, I can remember of season 1, Kate Kane took the original Batman suit, and with the help of Luke, they modified it to fit her, so she could go out as Batwoman, and they just added the wig to it. And she had that famous line, kind of cringeworthy line in the trailers where Luke says, "It's the Batsuit's perfect," and she says, "It will be perfect when it fits a woman." So they specifically mention about the kryptonite is the only weapon that can pierce the Batsuit. So fake Bruce Wayne takes that and he goes after the Batsuit. Why? I have no idea. Because if he's pretending to be Bruce Wayne and he's already talking to Luke, who thinks he's Bruce Wayne, why doesn't he have, if let's say he wants a Batsuit, why doesn't he just have Luke make him a new Batsuit? But no, apparently the Batsuit in the tradition of making certain objects far more important than they really are, the Batsuit is now something all important and made out of some must be made out of some fantastical material that can't be reproduced for some reason. Who knows why? And he has to have that bat suit. And what I'm really disappointed is that we didn't get the alternate ending where what was he going to do when he got the bat suit back? Let's say his plan succeeds. He shoots. I keep thinking Ryan Wilder in the bat suit and it kills her, and then he takes the bat suit off of her. And then I want to see the alternate ending where he does that, and then he tries to put on this bat suit that has been modified to fit a smaller woman. And then just see him try to get into this bat suit. Like, what? It makes no sense at all. It's just so stupid. Why? Okay, so it's made out of a bulletproof material, right? Supposedly, it can be made again. And if Batman shows up again, I don't think he's going to try to wear Batwoman's suit. Because I'm sure it's one thing to take like a man's suit and then like trim it down to fit someone smaller. But it's a lot harder to expand something like that and make it fit someone who's bigger. And I don't think, I'm no costumer or tailor, but I'm pretty sure you would just start with a new suit at that point. You wouldn't try to modify the same suit that much. So for some reason he goes off after the suit, and then he shoots Van Wilder. I'll just call her Van Wilder now. Why not? And has very little effect. And there's no real reason given for why it doesn't have that much of effect. At the end of the episode, we did find out she did actually get shot. Because if you had not watched that ending scene, you may have thought that it just went through the back suit but not enough, and so she was just fine. Because that's how it kind of plays. She gets shot, and then she's like, I guess it throws her to the ground, because it's kind of like they show it like a shotgun blast. But then she's fine. She just gets right back up, and it's no big deal. It's like being hit in the shoulder really hard, I guess. And then she just fights him, and of course, because she's got the Batwoman suit on, which I think is pretty much firmly established at this point that it's like the Curse of the Santa Claus in the Tim Allen movie has made her the new Batwoman. Even though she doesn't have any ninja training, it's because it's the suit. The all-powerful Batwoman suit. I don't see how else this episode would make sense. It has to be that, right? The all-powerful Batwoman suit, and she uses that to beat fake Bruce Wayne. And then she just brutally punches him in the face until his fake face is sort of slipping off, which was a little weird. A little weird, but I mean, not terrible. I guess they're trying to establish the character as, a more brutal version of Batman, which is not bad. I mean, that's okay. They can try to go in that direction. And then the other thing in this episode, which I haven't even mentioned, Alice. I do not care for Alice. I've read up on what people's thoughts of season 1 as it was happening and afterwards. And I've seen a lot of people praise the show for certain characters, and Alice being one of those characters. I do not agree in the least. She is just a Joker ripoff in my mind. I don't really care for the character. She's not interesting. She's just a crazy girl. And that appears to be it. The only other thing is that she's the sister of Kate Kane, which at this point, Kate's not in the show anymore, so you don't even have that. And, it seems very superficial anyway. So, yes, I was not impressed by the character of Alice at all. She doesn't really do much in this episode. other than she talks to fake Bruce Wayne, and then she talks to the that Kate Kane's father and her father, Dougray Scott, I think, Colonel Jacob Kane, and that was kind of boring. And basically, she doesn't really do anything, and then she's plotting at the end. And the one thing they did connect with the new character Van Wilder would call her, is her mother was killed by Alice. So that is the one connection this new character has to the Batwoman world. So we'll see where that goes. Which I'm going to predict right now, she's not going to kill Alice, because this is CW, and pretty sure that actress is a regular for the entire season. And so that's definitely, nothing's going to happen there. The other thing that is probably going to happen, which is going to be pretty dumb, is they're going to continue the mystery of what happened to Kate Kane. And nobody cares. And I think that pretty much covers my thoughts for the episode. I'm not really expecting much else from this show. I think I do want to just start doing like episode reactions like this, and let me know if you want me to watch the rest of Batwoman. Or let me know if you want me to go back and watch Batwoman season 1. Is it worth it? I don't think so. I feel like the 20 or so minutes that I watched of the episode 1 of season 1 was probably enough. But if people want me to, I can always subject myself to the pain of watching it and giving you my thoughts on it. If that's something people are interested in, let me know in the comments below. And otherwise, I will see you in the next video.